I think we're on.
Are we?
Yep, we're on. Hey everyone, it's Sophia and Kat from Low Country Autism Foundation. Hope you guys are having a great week. We are going to talk about our siblings today, siblings of those individuals diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. And as an autism mama with two kiddos with autism, and I have my oldest son is neurotypical. This is definitely a topic near and dear to my heart, and I was so excited to have Kat and Stacy join Laugh, and they were very supportive of us launching more efforts to be able to care and support not just the individual with autism, but also their siblings. So we're really excited today. What about you, Kat? Are you excited?
Yes. Hey, everybody. I'm Kat. And those of you that don't know me, I head up the development at Laugh, and Sophia handles the programs over in the Bluffton-Beaufort area. And we have so much fun getting up on Facebook Live for our Hoda and Jenna segment where we can talk real with each other and with you about our experiences as moms. And one of the biggest things that comes up is care for siblings of kiddos with autism. And we have some great advice as far as websites that you can go to get training and support, and great books that you can get for your kids that helps them cope with their feelings and how to be a good advocate for their brother or sister. So one thing that I wanted to mention is Cal, my son, has autism. We don't have any other kiddos, but I think everyone listening can relate to maybe someone in their family, their own siblings that might have had some kind of mental health issues or something that required more attention from your parents. So I think we can all relate to sibling care in these situations. So one of the best things about Laugh is that, as Sophia mentioned, we do have some programming for siblings. We have Laugh on the Wildside, which I'll let Sophia talk about, but it's a great outdoor event that we put on for the siblings in Bluffton. We have art therapy for the siblings, and we have a great partnership with the First Tee, both here in Charleston and in the Bluffton-Beaufort area. So many things that you can get your kids involved in so that there's something special for them. And we can talk more about the Wildside program. Did Russell like it?
Oh my gosh, he loved it. He loved it. But I got to be honest, he's never kayaked before. Even though we've been in the Low Country for so many years, we've never done it before as a family even. So he was a little bit nervous, but when it was all over, he said, "Mom, it was just so peaceful. It was so peaceful being out there." And he said it was awesome being around kids just like me. You know, they have a brother or a sister with autism. He loved our leader for that program, Mr. Adam. Mr. Adam rocks. And he really enjoyed it. But I really loved his wording of, I was at peace. I was so at peace. It was so calm. Because if you come to my house, it's not, but it is what it is. But yeah, we have been so pleased as a family, as a Laugh family, with this program. It has been just life-changing. And I've been reaching out to the other families who have been participating in this program, and their tween and teen have, they've all said that they very much look forward to this event every month. So they're starting to really kind of develop some camaraderie between the participants. So I think that's so important. You know, these kids go to school, and yes, everyone is different, but not everyone has a brother or sister with high needs. And, you know, my Jack is actually able to go to school with Russell, with his big brother. And it's a smaller school, and sometimes there might be an issue going on with Jack that day, and Russell will hear about it. And I try to get him to just focus on himself during his school day. Don't worry about your brother. We've got it. I want you to just work on yourself, and you study and just worry about you. Don't worry about your brother. But still, there's always going to be that caregiver mentality in the back of their minds. So, you know, even in downtime, they're still thinking about it. I think I might have mentioned this to you, but a couple of weeks ago, Russell asked me, he said, you know, I would really love to go try out for basketball. I'd really love to do that. But I don't know how we would do it. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, I think going to the games, going to the practices, he goes, I think that's going to be too much on you and Dad.
Sweet boy.
God love him, you know.
I know.
But that's why our siblings need the support and the care when they're faced with realities like this. You know,
I was reading this morning something interesting. Not that siblings are forgotten, it's more that siblings tend to not get as much attention because the attention is on the kid that needs the most attention. And siblings tend to develop emotional challenges and coping skills compared to siblings with neurotypical siblings, just because they're facing how to deal with, you know, growing up with a special needs brother or sister, and how to deal with it and how to protect them and how to give their parents grace. And it's just a maturing factor that happens way sooner than it should be. And so that leads me into some of the great resources that we came across. And we have Stacy looking at the video and dropping information into the box so that you can see these. There's some great books, 15 best books for autism for siblings. I won't list them all, but we'll drop them into the box so that you can see them. And it's so great now that there's so much material that your kids can read, and they feel less alone and they can learn how to deal with certain situations. So I'm excited to build my library with some of these books, that's for sure.
Definitely.
So this is under researchautism.org. Applied Behavioral Analysis Programs.com. And I know Stacy will drop that in for books. And then, I don't know if you've heard of this, Sophia, it's called the Organization for Autism Research, or they have a project called the Sibling Support Project. And they have all kind of awesome reading material for parents, for teenage siblings, and then for younger siblings. And they have all kind of awesome stuff on here. So I definitely want to share that. What else? Yeah, there's two links, and then you can get onto some training and online workshops too. And I'm a nerd, so I'm a sponge and like to listen to everything and read everything and learn everything that I can.
That's good.
You're welcome, everyone. So going into some of the other programs that we offer besides Laugh on the Wildside, and to jump back to that, Sophia mentioned kayaking. So Laugh on the Wildside currently is just in the Bluffton and Beaufort area. We're hoping to bring it to the Charleston area, but we've just been very fortunate to have a very special instructor that knows all things yoga, outdoor activities. So each activity varies each month. So it could be kayaking or bike tours, hiking. And then when it's cooler, we'll have some different types of things for indoor activities. So they get together, they go kayaking, and they can talk and have like a meditation at the end. And so that was what Sophia was mentioning. We also have the art therapy, which right now is in both areas, in Charleston and in Bluffton. And right now, because of COVID, we're doing that through a mail exchange program, and it's been really fun. We've had a ton of people involved, so make sure to be on the lookout for our next one. And hopefully in the new year, we'll be back to doing that in person. And the way that works is you have a pen pal and you send art back and forth, so it's really cool. And then, of course, the First Tee, we are doing that currently in Bluffton, and we'll have a new registration and workshop coming up soon. And then in Charleston, I think we'll be starting that back up in the spring. So we will keep you posted on all of those. So let's see if we have any questions coming in. I don't see any just yet. I was trying to think of all the great testimonials that we've had coming in for our siblings. There's one in particular that you mentioned, the mom. She was saying how this was the first time in how many years that her kiddo felt like she had something special for herself. Is that right?
Yeah, it was the first time in years that there was something for her daughter, and that, you know, and I reached back out to this mom and I just said, you know, please, you know, let me know how I can further support you. What can Laugh, you know, do? Because we do want to hear from our families. You know, what is it that you want to see? What is it, you know, send us ideas. And the mom's response to that was simply, honestly, when my daughter is okay, I'm okay. If she's not okay, I'm not okay. So she said, just knowing that my daughter has this program is a huge stress removed from my shoulders. So, I mean, that just says so much, you know.
Yeah.
That is, it's really, I think, unless, you know, you're in it, right, you don't really get it. And it really is a lot. It's a lot on the caregiver, but it's also a lot on the siblings, and a lot of the siblings sacrifice a lot when they have a brother or sister with high needs, and not necessarily autism, but, you know, very high needs. But you know, just my own story, what really hit home for my husband and myself a couple of years ago, when my oldest, neurotypical, was 9. A couple of months prior to that, we had our youngest was diagnosed. So we had just learned now we have 2 kids. 2 of our 3 kids have autism. And our 9-year-old approached me one day and said, so when you and Daddy go to heaven, how am I going to take care of my 2 autistic brothers? What do you say to that? You know,
that's heavy.
Yeah. And he's
That's
only,
heavy.
you know, and at the time he was, you know, 9 years old. Now, here's the thing. We always try to keep it as upbeat as possible around our home. We try not to talk about anything negative or stressful around the kids. That's just his intuition. And so that's what I want to bring up is, even if you're trying to keep things positive and you're doing a daily check-in, right, with the autism sibling, we still need to make sure that we've got a space for our autism siblings, for them to express themselves, to express their emotions, to be able to just kind of let it all out and talk. And that may not necessarily happen. It might happen a little bit when talking to mom or dad, but they're probably not going to give you the full picture. So that's why getting the sibling into a supportive program like Laugh on the Wildside or art therapy for siblings, that's why it's so vital to do that. And in addition to that, if you feel like they need to be seeing a counselor, do it. I can tell you, I started, I kid you not, a week after my son said that to me at 9 years old, we immediately started looking for a therapist for him, because that's a lot. That's a heavy load. He shouldn't have to be worrying about this at 9 years old. He needs to be worrying about playing outside and being with
Being a
friends,
kid.
being a kid, right?
Yeah.
Not when mom and dad die.
Yeah.
How am I going to do this? How am I going to take care
Yeah.
of two autistic brothers? That was his words. So, I started seeing the therapist because as a mom, I want to make sure, I'm giving myself good self-care. And she said to me, she said, you have to remember, you need to model what you want your son to be seeing. So the way that you're handling and dealing and coping with having two sons with autism, the oldest is watching you, and he is going to learn how to cope through you and your husband. So we do want to be very mindful about how we are coping with things, because that is going to be that's how we're teaching the siblings to cope. So
That's such a good point.
yeah, it's so important. It's so important. So, and then with that, what we said to him, for those that want to know, I mean, we just said, well, we're going to have a plan, and you are not going to have to worry about this. They will be taken care of, but we will have a plan. And what I mean by that is special needs estate planning, getting a trust, our wills, things that we had not even thought about. Now, all of a sudden, we're being pushed to get the ball rolling. But not just for us or for them, but for the oldest, for the child not diagnosed, because you do want to lessen the burden on them,
Right.
So,
what I'm thinking of is any of the caregivers watching might be thinking, well, I don't have time to give my other siblings my undivided attention, or, things like that.
Right.
And it just makes me so proud. There's this family here in Charleston that I always think of, because somehow they managed to do something very special with both of the kids together and separately. And I just don't see how they do it. They're both working parents, and they do a really good job of making sure that they both feel special on their own and together as siblings.
Right.
And I'm reminded of some of the waivers and things that we've talked about in our previous lives, because I know people need help with respite. So if you can get the waiver, have respite night, like Parents Night Out and Bluffton, they come in, they bring their kiddos, and this is a chance for the parents to do whatever they need to do. But oftentimes it is to have quality time with their other children. Yes. So there are things at your disposal that you can research, and they're on our website, on our Facebook Lives. You can go on our website and see the Facebook Lives that describe the waivers and all that stuff. You can get on those wait lists and apply for respite, so that you have someone you trust in your home with your kid while you go out and do something special with your kid, whether it's taking them to the movies. Well, not the movies right now. What's outside?
Just a nice walk.
Apple picking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something special for the other kiddo is, that's the idea. There are things out there to help you with that. And I'm just so amazed. I have one kiddo, and I can't imagine how I don't make time for myself, let alone these other children. So I know it's hard.
Yeah.
But in the long run, I know it's good for their mental health and for them to grow and be strong for themselves, for their sibling, and for their parents, to talk about it. And
definitely it's so important.
Is Russell enjoying therapy? Would you say he's getting anything out of it?
Oh yeah, definitely, most definitely. He's at the point now to where now we do check-ins with the therapist, but in the beginning it was once a week for almost 2 years. And so we've been doing, telehealth because of the COVID situation. And sometimes I'm involved for a little bit. We're just kind of touching base, making sure everything's okay. And then I go outside or I'm downstairs and I let him do his thing. And if there's something alarming, obviously the therapist checks in with me and she does a follow-up. But a lot of it is, it's kind of funny how I'm already seeing myself in my son, in Russell, and a lot of it is that caregiver, mentality. He even loves to come and volunteer at Parents' Night Out. And I love it. And I love having him. But that's another example of, let's give you a break from everything autism. And why don't you go do something fun? Don't feel like you have to come and give your time and be an assistant. He loves helping out the therapists who are volunteering for the program.
Yeah.
But
it's amazing how, and Russell's such a sweetheart, the way I'm hearing it is he is maturing fast for his age, and you just want these siblings to be a kid and have fun and not worry. And on this OAR website, it says here, that siblings of children with autism are in a unique position. They face challenges similar to the caregivers, but at a time before they've developed their appropriate coping strategies. And as a result, they need support to ensure they're informed, feel respected, and know how to be compassionate advocates for their siblings on the spectrum.
Yes.
Which is amazing because, not everyone handles things differently.
Yes.
And ultimately, they're a caretaker too, as a sibling.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, they are. Every child is different. We all know that. Some of our families, I know that one of them in particular, the sibling, just sort of stays in his room, doesn't have a lot to do with the family, is very quiet, very withdrawn. That's a problem. And we're actually assisting that family in getting some help, some therapy. But according to our therapist, as long as the child is talking, is involved, that's a great sign. Once they start withdrawing, staying in the room a lot, not talking a lot to family members, that's a red flag. But definitely, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. If you feel more comfortable reaching out to us, we can assist you in finding a therapist for you, for your other children, whatever you may need. We can go over our programming with you because we have added a lot of great programming over this past year, and we're so excited about it. And just there's more to come, and we're so excited. Yeah, definitely.
One thing I didn't mention, and it's not necessarily for siblings, but I know we're going to a church now that has a special needs program, and it gives families an opportunity to go to church. Their child with high needs is taken care of in a trusted environment, and then their other kids are able to go to Bible study, youth group, whatever you call it. So, if that's something that you believe in and you're comfortable with, that's another great way to make sure that your kiddo's getting an outlet and with other children and that kind of thing. And I know here in Charleston, there are at least 2 churches that have programs like that. So I'm not sure about the Bluffton area, but we can definitely brainstorm things with you if you're struggling with how to support your siblings. And of course, Stacy, I think, has put all the information that we've talked about in the comments. So we hope that we've been helpful today. Sophia and I love coming on here and just talking to you guys, like, you know, real to real, mama to mama, other caregivers out there. We have some exciting ones coming up, so we'll go ahead and tell you about those. Looking at my calendar. On December, no, what are we doing? On the 19th, very exciting, we will be coming on to talk about gift ideas for your kids. I know I'm obsessed with Christmas and I always want to find the perfect gift for my son because he doesn't love the typical toys. He likes things that light up and have like reactionary things that happen. So he's kind of hard to shop for. So we're going to have a lot of awesome ideas for you for sensory needs. So we'll have those ready for you with links, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then
we get a toddy that day.
Oh yeah, it'll be ready. Apple cider, hot toddy.
Hot toddy.
It's going to be fun.
It'll be like the
Just
real
need a little crackling fire in the background. And we have some other exciting ones coming up, but keep this on your calendar. On the 17th, Sophia and I will be back to talk about stresses over the holidays. I think we all can agree that it is a tough time to be around family, especially family that doesn't understand our kids and the noises they make, and that you have to stick to a routine and blah, blah, blah.
Take your clothes off.
Really famous in my family, they all like to call me a helicopter mom. And I say, yes, I am, because I have to keep my kids safe. He could get out and who knows what could happen. And anyway, we will talk all things holiday stress and ways that you can cope, take care of yourself, and enjoy the holiday. So that will be on the 17th. And I can't even believe it's November.
Where did the time go? I don't know. What is happening?
I don't know, but I know everyone's going to be celebrating on December 31st for this year to be over. So good things to come.
Yes.
Well, thank you, everyone. Sophia and I love getting on, and please let us know if you have any questions, and we'll see you real soon.
Take care, y'all. Have a good week.